conversation with some fascinating ladies who've changed the game in the world of video, music and gaming. Only on Hungama's Women Game Changers 2022 podcast.
Hello everybody, this is your host Andrea D'Souza and welcome back to another episode of the Hungama Women Game Changers podcast. The Hungama Women Game Changers initiative was launched on 8th of March 2022 in order to felicitate and congratulate all the amazing work done by women in music, gaming and entertainment industries. So today we have somebody with us who has been an integral part of the behind the scenes, if you can say. Someone from the music industry who is a music composer as well as a producer, and she has worked with A.R. Rahman sir a lot. She's really young, about a 24-year-old woman who has achieved a lot in the music industry so far. Today here we have with us Hiral Viradya. And Hiral, it is amazing to have this conversation with you and amazing to have you on board with us for doing this. So a very, very warm welcome.
Hi Andrea, thank you so much for having me.
I want to ask you to begin with, how did you always think you'd end up into the music industry? Like, were you looking at joining the music industry initially as a kid?
Actually I was, but my dreams were different. I wanted to be a singer because coming from Gujarat, I didn't really know much about, what all the other possibilities are within music. So I wanted to be a singer, just like, it's like the very common thing everyone wants to. But then later when I started learning production, composition, and then when I joined Rahman sir as a supervisor, that changed the game for me. Because after that, I just came across so many other possibilities that we have within the music industry, and then new roads opened up. So,
So what was your journey like then? Like, when did you, get it for sure that you want to be a composer, not a singer anymore?
It was it takes lots of wrong turns and wrong decisions to come to the right one, and nothing was planned. So, I started with singing, then I started learning instruments, then I thought all I could do career-wise was be a singer. Then I studied music, I did my bachelor's. That's when I came across all the other possibilities like production, mixing, mastering, orchestration, criticism, journalism. The list goes on, right? There are so many things we can do, but not many people are aware. There is history in music. That's like a surprise to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So academics, Western vocals, I learned opera. I wanted to even become an opera singer, Western classical singer for quite a brief period of time. After that, I started making music, my own music, my album, and I started performing that. Then suddenly Rahman sir called, and I didn't know what I was going for, right? Because music supervision is not something that people know in India. I mean, briefly.
Yeah.
So it was new to me, and I thought, let's see what's what. And turns out it requires everything, right? Because you have to know production, you have to know singing, you have to know editing, film scoring, song programming, score reading, final film mix, literally everything. So that really, I found it very exciting. That, oh wow, there's so much we could do. And then I was really interested in doing all of that. While doing that for a couple of years, I realized that I do want to continue doing all of that, and I also want to compose, and I want to, make music for films, for ads, for series, for anything and everything. And as well as my own music, like an album. So, suddenly it's like when I realized it's not a day when you get up and it's like, today I want to be a composer, but it's like a slow realizations while doing different work, that, hey, I also like this, hey, I'm also good at that. And that's how sort of,
So it's not like progress in your passion, your interest. You've just progressed and progressed in your it. It's pretty interesting.
It's because even I find new things about myself, about music, about so many things literally every day or maybe weekly. There are these realizations that's cool, just small little realizations.
Yes.
Hey, that's fun. I could do that. And hey, I'm good at that. or sometimes, that's something I'm not good at. Let's give it a shot. But it's just about doing it continuously so that you have these questions and answers, going on in your head, and then you sort of react to those, and something new will come out, which might not be part of the plan, but that's, that's the beautiful part, that let's see where it goes.
Right.
And so far I have surprised myself, because I did not plan I had no plan of being a composer or, like scoring for films, basically.
Right. But your job actually sounds really interesting as well as fun, and also TVs at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, there are no Sundays for me, to be honest. And there are no nights or days. It's like we're just working 24/7. But it's fun. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing this 24 hours if my body coped up, right? Because
And as long as it interests you, I think you're pretty good with it.
Yeah, I love making music, so I never get bored. Sometimes I do get saturated because it's just constant work when there are deliveries or multiple projects, and it gets a little hectic to shift your zone from one film to another film, to a series which is completely different, to a song that is absolutely different. So, and all of this, you have to do in the same day. So you don't really initially it was very difficult to shift the focus from one to another, and it would take that good old artist saying, "Arey mood." Like, I am not in the mood, I'm not in the zone, I need to get in the zone. But slowly all of that just faded out, that it doesn't really, I mean, sure, the zone helps, but you don't always have the luxury. So then you get used to doing it anyway, which I couldn't do earlier. So that's fun. That's something that I figured when I had to do certain tasks when I did not want to. And then I still did it. So I think that was a good incident or series of incidents.
That is nice. There's a lot of growth, a lot of progress in your life. And pretty fun as well for you. I was asking, did you have a mentor or somebody, as a child, did you look up to someone?
So as a child, I wasn't exposed to much music or something, because I come from Gujarat, very normal family, innocent people, and all I knew was what I heard on radio, and Dad used to have like a huge collection of cassettes. So yeah, I used to listen to all Hindi 80s, 90s, early 2000 music. That's how I grew up. Surprisingly, now when I look back, most of those tracks that I really liked were Rahman sir's track, but I didn't know who he was back then because I was 4 or 5 years old. So, but I have like not one mentor, but like I have a tendency to adapt from multiple people. I mean, whoever I meet, everyone inspires me. Every music inspires me. Films inspire me. Just routine, going to the school and you see something and then it's very inspiring. So I keep adapting these things from different people, places, situations or something like that. But there are few people, who have played a big role in shaping my musical journey.
So what inspires you the most in your life to, continue as a composer? Is it just the music or something else as well that, inspires you?
So it starts with your love for doing what you do. And then continuing to do that, I think multiple things, like first, of course, you really like you really like spending time with music, not necessarily what you do with that, because you don't always have a choice. But if I have to spend 10 hours, 15 hours working on something every day, I would choose, music. Second thing, just this, I don't know, music is like expression, a way of expressing emotions or things that you couldn't express otherwise with words, or maybe you couldn't reach more people. So it's like a medium of communication where you could express so many things that you want to, or so many things that needs to be expressed or needs to be conveyed. So I really like that we could do that with, arts and with music. That I want to say something, but no one's going to listen if I just talk. But I make a track, and maybe so many people might listen, and they'll be able to feel the same thing that probably I felt, or they might connect to it differently, but it's still communicating.
Right.
So I really like doing that.
And the phrase, whoever ever said that, music is a language in itself, was actually so accurate at what they said.
Yeah.
It is a language in itself.
It is. It is a language, and it's an expression. It comes from somewhere. I don't know, maybe the universe, or from somewhere within you, and it just reaches everyone. And it's so beautiful that so many people connect to it in the same manner, or maybe deeper, or they have their own meanings with what you've made. And me being a music lover, when I was growing up, even when I was like as young as 6 years old, I do remember listening to these songs from Tal or Swades or Roja, and just feeling things that were very unusual to me as a 6, 7, 8-year-old child. And I still have those memories. When I heard Jaage Hai first time, I cried, and I hadn't even watched the film when I was in 5th grade. And that's the communication, music does. That I had no idea about anything, no story, who made this, who sang, nothing. But it just, I heard that and I was just crying, and my father is like, "Why are you weeping? We were on a car." And he got really worried. I was like, "I don't know, this track is making me cry." So yeah, it played a very big role in my life I have these memories where I've felt the strongest of any emotion through music. We feel maximum of love when we are listening to a track we really like.
Yes.
Or we feel maximum of heartbreak or devotion or happiness or sorrow while we are listening to something. Right? So I think that's beautiful, and it really helps people to go through difficult situations, to find hope or to be inspired. So that's why I really wanted to do more of this and make good music.
But do you have like a specific favorite genre in music?
No, that's a wrong question. I listen to everything. I love everything. I take inspiration from everything. Picking a favorite is very difficult, but I like melodies. So maybe techno or metal, I wouldn't connect as much as I connect with other music with powerful melodies, because I connect with melodies and the soul of that.
Right, and it makes sense also because you're a composer, so it definitely makes sense as well.
Yeah, I mean, no, I could also compose metal tracks, but I wouldn't really, if you ask for a favorite, I mean, I wouldn't really connect with it, maybe.
Right.
As much as I connect with melodies and the tunes more than anything else. Everything else just falls into place then after that.
So coming to our Women Game Changers initiative and you being a part of it and being a winner of it, how was your experience like, being a winner of the Women Game Changers?
Oh, it was beautiful. In fact, it changed a lot of things for me, because people know what you do, but it's like once there is a validation of some sort, it just makes a lot of difference. So suddenly people are, I got so many messages, so many collaboration opportunities, and so many people reaching out and congratulating and, just wishing well, and it's like, this is very nice. So I also loved it because I saw my picture and then I was on the same frame as this one, Sunidhi, Harshdeep ma'am, Shreya Ghoshal, I think, and so many other people that I, grew up listening to.
Right.
When I was a kid, I went to Sunidhi Chauhan concert and I was like, wow, maybe I want to be there at someday. But yeah, and then that was a very surreal thing for me to, be in the same frame as them.
So thank you so much, Hale, for being a part of this and for giving us your time to do this with us.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much.
In conversation with some fascinating ladies who've changed the game in the world of video, music and gaming. Only on Hungama's Women Game Changers 2022 podcast.